Giuseppe Tartini was one of the most brilliant violinists of his day. One night in 1713, when still a very young man, he had a very vivid and haunting dream. In his dream, the devil came to him and they made a pact. In return for his soul, the devil would serve him here on earth. After they got acquainted with each other, Tartini handed the devil his violin to see how well the devil could play. To his utter amazement, the devil was a virtuoso. He played the most magnificent music he had ever heard, and played it with more skill than he had ever encountered. At that point, he woke up from the dream. So inspired was he by the music the devil had been playing that he ran over to his instrument and tried to recover the sounds he had just heard. But in vain. The devil was gone and his music was gone with him. But Tartini sat down at his desk with pen and paper. Enough of those notes remained in his ears that he was able to pen an outstanding piece of music. He called it Il Trillo del Diavolo, the devil's trill. Tartini admitted that this was nowhere near the magnificent music heard in his dream, but still he acknowledged that it was by far the best music he had ever written. All of us have to deal with the devil from time to time. There is evil in this world, and we meet up with it often. Most of us are shocked when we first encounter it. It comes as a surprise to us that the world is not all good, not all sunny, not all painless. It comes as a shock when we first encounter pain, sorrow, unpleasant moments, unpleasant people. Jesus did not go into the desert to encounter the devil. But it was precisely through this encounter with evil that he found what he came to find: himself, his mission, his divinity. Where is evil? We always like to point to the other side of the world, or perhaps to the other end of the pew. That one's evil, not me. Yet each of us has good and bad inside. Each of us has moments of happiness and of sadness, moments of hope as well as of despair, moments of love and moments of selfishness. The 20th century Russian author Alexander Solzhenitsyn writes, "If only it were all so simple. If only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart?" Yes, there is good and bad inside the heart of every one of us. We encounter evil just as we encounter good in others and in ourselves. Like Jesus, we can allow these encounters with evil to be learning experiences, turn them into encounters with ourselves, encounters with God. We can benefit from life's every encounter, pleasant or unpleasant. Many years ago, I heard the story of a renowned preacher in Europe. He could preach on for hours, and the people never tired of it. But there was one very unpleasant old lady in the congregation who would always seat herself right below the pulpit. All during his sermon, she would shake her head and utter nasty comments, disagreeing with everything he said. After Mass, she always went up to him and criticized everything he had said. Well, no one lives forever, and one day this unpleasant woman died. At her funeral, the people were amazed that the priest seemed to be mourning her sincerely. Someone asked, "Why are you so sad at the death of this impossible woman? Wasn't she the only thorn in your side?" The preacher said, "Yes, that is true. But now, who will help me to grow?" We do not desire our encounters with the unpleasant, but they always leave their mark on us, whether we wish it or not. Let them help to compose the music of our life. Let them help us to grow. Surrounded only by the good, the beautiful, the virtuous, the pleasant, the complimentary, how are we ever to grow? All the encounters of our life, pleasant or unpleasant as the case may be, are given to help us find ourselves, to help us find God. Turkish author Mehmet Murat İldan writes, "If you know the north, you know where the south is. If you know the darkness, you know where the light is. Evil is an excellent compass for the good." Indeed, we can find the good through our encounters with the bad. We relish encounters with pleasure and shun the encounters with pain. We love the company of those compatible with us and avoid the company of those who are not. This is only half of life's experience, and not always the half that is most beneficial to us. Often it is precisely those moments and those people we find the most distasteful that are the ones which help us grow the most. Embrace life's deserts as much as you embrace life's lush gardens. Embrace the clouds as much as the sunshine, the impossible people as well as the friends, the pain as well as the pleasure, the ugly as well as the beautiful, the darkness as well as the light. Embrace death as well as life. For in each we encounter ourselves. In each we encounter God. And it is often in the very darkest nights of the soul, in a melancholy mood, in a minor key, that God composes with us the most beautiful parts of the song of our life.